All right, man. Sonya Marvel did a big one with Spider-Man the movie. Tom Holland, really good actor. Did his thing. It was 2 hours and 25 minutes. Spider-Man, a brand new day. This comes off the heels of, you know, all his people losing their memory during I think because of the tear and the multiverse. Yeah, I mean, they did a great job. You know, he had the No Way Home was the previous one where they had Doctor Strange in it, and I mean, like I said before, storyline is interesting. If you watch the animated series of uh of it, this has some, or you read the comics, this has some properties to this. Because in the animated series, the '90s cartoon, which they thinking about rebuffing after the success of X-Men '97, which was the reboot of the '90s. No, 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 no. Uh, 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 it rebooted that after the success. But Peter Parker devotes his life to protect New York City as a full-time Spider-Man. But as the demands on him intensify, pressure sparked a surprising physical evolution that threatens his existence, even as strange new patterns of crime gives rise to one of the most powerful threats he's ever faced. Um, so the thing about this one is, in the comics, he would like his mutation was a little bit different. He was going through a mutation, and I believe, or at least in the animated show, I can't remember who he leaned on to help him with his mutation. Um, but he had like 6 arms. He had like 6 like spider arms, and he was going through this mutation. He was trying to pretty much, figure it out. So this time, this was just due to a lot of stress that he was actually putting on, because he was a full-time Spider-Man. And obviously, if you remember from the last one, was it No Way Home, he didn't his friends forgot his memory, so he was just in solitude, and solitude was killing him. And it had a Sandy Six. She played Jean Grey. She was known to playing Max in Stranger Things. Obviously, Tom Holland, Zendaya. It had Cordone in there. He played Tobias in Black Panther. Also, I believe he's a Grammy winning artist as well too. Jacob Batalon. He was his friend Ned. And I don't know. And another thing about it as well, and it had the dude from Frank Castle. He played the Punisher. He played Shane in uh, The Walking Dead. So, but in general, and it also had Mark Ruffalo, who played the Hawk. The Hawk. It had some really good cameos in it as well too. So the crazy thing about this particular movie, in my opinion, was the visuals were great, but it's about how depressing it was. All he did was be a full-time Spider-Man, and you didn't know who was the real threat at all. But the Punisher gave it a nice little witty play, and it was pretty sad, bro, that he just was doing this with no friends. Uncle Ben was dead, his auntie was dead, and pretty much his friends was dead to him. He would spy on them, he would cyber stalk them to see what they were doing and stuff. And ultimately, it didn't seem like a 2 hour and 25 minute movie, and movies are getting longer. And it's funny how they're making movies longer and people's attention span is getting shorter. But it didn't have too much fat on this. It was straight to the point. Damn near every scene kind of was meaningful. And then as you watch it, you don't even know, if you didn't watch the cast, you didn't even know Jean Grey was I didn't even know she was like in the movie. I know they had casted Sandy Sinks as Jean Grey, but she ended up kind of being kind of his villain in this movie, man. And but she really wasn't the real villain. But in general, it was a really good movie, really well wrote. Tom Holland did a great job, and just ask yourself, how much longer is he gonna be Spider-Man? That's one of the number one things. Are they gonna reboot it, going into the multiverse? I just think he wanted a better Spider-Man. I know a lot of people like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Some people may not think that aged well, but I like those Spider-Man. I like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, but Tom Holland might be my favorite one. But they went on to say that Spider-Man: A Brand New Day swings to mind-blowing 355 million debut, second biggest opening weekend in box office history. So, so you only imagine what Doomsday about to do. He said, with greater power comes truly heroic ticket sales. Sony and Marvel's comic book adventure, Brand New Day. And just see what happens when you leave Disney the hell out of something. Obliterated the box office expectations, collecting a jaw-dropping 355 million from 4,487 North American. So this 355 million domestically. Its second biggest debut in domestic box office history, following the 2000 Avengers Endgame, 357 million. So they only fell 2 million short, and it ain't over yet. It ain't over yet because as I'm doing this is August 2nd. So they may very well break that record. 357 not adjusted for inflation. Oh yeah, because that inflation happened the very next year, 2020. The Brand New Day could end up eclipsing the all-time record if Monday's final tally lands above the estimates. No other films have ever come close to surpassing 300 million in a single weekend. This is domestically. The third largest domestic opening belongs to the 2021 Spider-Man No Way Home with 260 million, followed by 2018's Avengers Infinity Warfare 257, and that's not adjusted with inflation. Yes, Marvel Studios now boasts the four largest openings of all time at the domestic box office. So this is domestic. This even international. So Spider-Man's Brand New Day collected 573 million at the international box office, bringing the grand total to a staggering 927 million worldwide. And it's not even done yet. They may very well eclipse $1 billion in a weekend. In an unscoring Peter Parker, in 927 million worldwide, underscoring Peter Parker's broad global appeal. It'll rank the second biggest worldwide debut after the Endgame, which captured a 1.2 million. And I'm not sure it's gonna get 100 million in the Sunday, so that's gonna record probably hold. In its first weekend of release, Sony spent around 225 million producing Brand New Day, not including marketing costs. Destin Daniel Cretton, the Shang-Chi Legends of Ten Rings director, and that was a great movie too. That's one of Marvel's, like Disney Marvel's best movies. My favorite is Captain America Winter Soldier, but that's my favorite because they was fighting. They was really throwing down. Directed Brand New Day, which has garnered a euphoric reaction from critics and audiences. It holds a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes and an A grade on Cinema Score exit poll. So, but we don't need to. But yeah, I mean, shit, it was a good movie. I said about 9 out of 10. So my girlfriend, she seen it twice. So she took me to see it. So yeah, I'd say definitely go see it. I got the cup. I wanted the hand, but they was gone. They said they sold out like the first day of the hand. I think the hand might have been like $60. So I think it was a popcorn bucket hand. So that lets you know his appeals. If he was selling like $50, $60 like popcorn buckets, it was around because this was $25. So I kind of know what they buckets sit for. I got a couple of them sitting over there, about $50, $60. So yeah, man, I'd just say go see it, man. May go see it twice. So yeah, check out the movie review playlist. I think it might be one of the best movies, the best movie I've seen all year. So, Peter Parker ball and Tobey Maguire. Tom Holland did a phenomenal job. So hit the link in the description. Follow me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram. Check out the movie reaction playlist. Join the Patreon. Peace.